Welcome to Prophetic Perspectives. I'm your host, Emilie Plowman, and I am super excited about today's program because with me in the studio, I have two of our amazing students from the MorningStar University School of Worship. We have Halee and we have Wesley. Welcome, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for being on today.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
Well, and this is a really exciting time of year for you all, too, because you're about to graduate.
Yeah.
Your first year with the school. And so I'm excited to have you on today just to hear what your experience has been, because MorningStar University is such an integral part of what we do here at MorningStar with the mantle of education that Rick carries. And so where are you from, Halee?
I'm from Houston, Texas.
Ooh, yay,
Yeah,
Texas.
you're from Texas.
My old stomping grounds.
Yeah.
And what about you, Wesley?
I'm actually from Florence, South Carolina.
Nice.
So, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and we, of course, have students from all over the world, too,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
and the United States.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about this, because both of you are worship school students
Yes, ma'am.
specifically,
Yeah.
as well as being part of the College of Leadership. And you all, if you watch our live services or conferences, you probably have seen these two, because Wesley, you're a drummer and you're a singer. aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
But what drew you all to the worship school?
Wow. Well, I was 8 the first time I went to a MorningStar conference,
Really?
and everyone was just packed into this little room. And I heard the sound of like world instruments coming from the stage, and I asked my mom, could I stand up on the chair? I just had to see, because, people were it was just another level of expressive worship. I mean, people's hands were just going and people were dancing and we're packed in like sardines. So I stand up on the chair and I look over and I see Susie Wills at the time.
Yeah, who's now Susie Uri.
Yes,
Yeah.
leading worship. And I see the sitar and Leonard. And I'm just like, I remember my brain just filling with the potential of heaven, like the possibility of Jesus and what that looked like. And so I could have gone to school, I guess, like many years before that, but there was just a convergence in my life in this season where I was just feeling really drawn to the school. And I think God's really doing something here right now.
Yeah, there really is there's a stirring in this year's class in particular.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes, ma'am.
seeing, particularly among the worship students, it's that whole idea of that new sound that's starting to, which was what MorningStar was famous for back in the day in
Right.
worship, but there is another
Exactly. a new
sound
wave.
that's getting ready to break, and you all are an
Yeah.
integral part of that. What about you, Wesley? What brought you to the school?
Yeah, so yes, ma'am. So actually, the first time I ever came to MorningStar was only last year at Worship Collective. So me and my family are big fans of Rick Pino. So we love his worship so much, and that's actually what brought us to MorningStar. Was my mom sent me a message and said, hey, Rick's will only be about 3 hours from our house, so we got to take your dad to go see him. So I didn't know where we was going. We was really just coming to see Rick Pino, and that's how we ended up here. So I was sitting down. This was last year. I was only a senior in high school, and on the stage came up MorningStar University Worship School. And my mom kind of elbowed me and said, son, you should think about coming. And at that time, I said, no. I said, school's not for me, because I actually had a full scholarship to be a traveling drummer at another university. And I prayed about it, because I did talent shows, on out for my life in IPHC conferences, and actually won a scholarship doing that.
Nice.
And I prayed, and I really felt the Father say, no, this ain't for you. So I said, well, this ain't for me, so I'm just not going to school. If he said no for this one, I'm going to no school. But God led me here. And just sitting here, and like Halee was saying, the worship and the sounds that was coming up, and to be under a man who, who's doing and saw what I want to be doing.
Right.
This man traveled the world twice in 1 year, Leonard Jones. And for me to sit under him and play for him and to be one of his drummers is just amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's always fascinating to me to see how everybody gets here, because everybody has a different story.
Yes,
ma'am.
Like for you, you just came full circle.
Right.
And that was really what my story was too, because the first time I was at MorningStar was I was 7.
Wow.
And came to a conference, got saved here actually.
Wow.
And then, some people have dreams, they have visions. Sometimes it's their moms who just know, it's
Yes, ma'am.
everyone has a different story. But as you're looking back over your year, because now here you are at the end of your first year, obviously the Lord
So
has
fast.
placed, time has gone by
gosh.
really fast.
Yeah.
How would you say the year has impacted your life?
Such a huge question, but for me, it's impacted me like in the secret place, in my spirit life with the Lord. It's just, you think you're coming here for one thing. I heard that at the beginning of the year so much. You think you're coming here for worship. And, I came with, I'm going to learn guitar from Leonard Jones, the best there is. And then you realize that God's doing a much deeper work. And there's momentum that he's starting to build with each class. Like, it just is like a train, really. You just, like, the schedule and everything of the school is just like the tracks. And then you just get in the train, and then slowly but surely you reach your destination. And I think everyone that sews in, everyone that comes through the school, it's just incredible. Dawn Potter coming was just amazing for the worship school. If you're interested in the worship school, it's just amazing. Everyone just adds their little piece, and you just feel like you just get this full perspective of worship in a new way. And just the College of Leadership is just incredible. I mean, every day the teaching we receive is just training for life, training for reigning, you know?
100%.
So, yeah.
What would you say then is the primary thing you've learned then over this year? If there's one thing that really sticks in your mind, what would that be?
Yeah, so that's a hard question as well, because all this stuff we learn and definitely all the knowledge we get. I mean, we got guys who, travel the world and been doing this their whole life, and they sit down with us for 4 hours out the day and just tell us this everything, their wisdom and knowledge. But I would definitely say one of the one things is just keep on going, no matter where you at. Just keep. I remember Rick, he came in and he spoke about that story about when he was climbing the mountain, and he said he had his sword on his side and he kept climbing. And then once he got to the top, and there was people at the bottom, there was enemy at the bottom. And once he got to the top and he couldn't see them no more, he said, I don't need my sword, so I'm just going to drop it. And then the angel came and said, no, wisdom is going to keep you holding on to that.
Right.
And when he kept on climbing, it got so small that he had to use his sword to anchor himself down. And, as traveling, I've been playing drums since I was 2 years old. My dad's a pastor, my mom's a pastor. And then being here, you can really get this, everything's good. I'm okay, but you got to keep on fighting. You got to keep on going, because the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Like I say a lot, it's easier to step on an acorn and cut down an acorn tree. So the devil wants to come and kill the gift before it grows. So you just got to keep on going, keep on fighting, and just give it everything you got. So
That's good.
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
and that's one thing I see too every year in the school is that students end up getting more out of it than they thought they came here for something specific and they
100%.
get that.
Yeah.
ma'am.
But there is so much more that the Lord has that they never anticipated.
Yes,
and then
ma'am.
you build those things like resilience in you to realize that I have a call and a destiny on my life.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And I got to keep going till I reach it, even if it involves climbing a
ma'am.
mountain. What about you, Halee? What's something you've learned this year that really sticks in your mind?
I'm a very bold, say it person normally, but I think I've learned to have more courage than I've ever had, just with Justin Perry's teachings and hearing, studying Revelation and going through it and hearing the things that will happen, and no one will need to have that courage and be resolute to not faint at the end of the age.
Yes.
And that preparation, you feel this eternal preparation in the school, like it's further than you can see with your natural eye. And it skills for life. How to train others, how to give others a heavenly mindset, to remember they're seated in heavenly places. And it's just perseverance, like to take up more courage than you've ever had before, to attempt greatness, to not be afraid of hearing fear not, be afraid of not hearing the command or doing anything that would merit the command, fear not, for I'm with you.
Yeah.
So it's just taking that leap. And we hear from Rick all the time. It's just amazing to have courage. Take courage. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. It's good for you. Don't waste your trials, So to anyone who's come into the school and thinks like, I've been through all of this stuff. How can I start over? I'm 26. I've done so many stupid things that you could ever think of. And look at what God's done.
Yeah,
you start afresh, you start anew, you keep going, you persevere, and God really will change your life, has changed our lives through this school. He changes your life.
Amen.
He really
100%.
does. And,
Yes, ma'am.
Again, I've seen so many students who come through that will say something similar. And that was really my journey, too, when I came through MSU back when. It's really was an opportunity to approach the Lord with a clean slate.
Yeah.
Whether you grew up in the church and you have, a lot of biblical knowledge and a lot of head knowledge about the Lord, but maybe you haven't met him for yourself, or maybe you're a new Christian. Either way, it's an opportunity for you to say, Lord, I'm giving you this year of my life.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm approaching you with a blank slate right on my slate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Write my story.
Yeah.
Change me, download into me what needs to be there.
Yeah. And there's something special about giving the Lord an allotted time.
Yes.
Like dedicating a season to him, or seasons. We're doing second year. So,
Yeah.
something special about it.
Yeah, so the journey is not over.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Just started.
It
so-
just started.
Yes, ma'am.
And we will talk about that a bit more when we come back.
Amen.
Leadership, The Power of a Creative Life by Rick Joyner. Leadership and creativity are two of the most powerful forces on earth. Learn how to cultivate these forces using real-life examples. Army of the Dawn Part 1 and Part 2 by Rick Joyner. God has an army that will soon mobilize. Its gathering will be the most powerful force on the earth. The Path by Rick Joyner. Rediscover the love of the one inside you. You meet the seeker while discovering Christ's nature. These 4 products retail for $74.96. Get them in our leadership special for only $55 plus free shipping on domestic orders. Call 888-778-7141 or visit store.morningstarministries.org.
You surround me with a song, and all the angels sing along. They sing, the Son of Man's never going down. The Son of Man's never going down. Yeah. The Son of Man's never going down. The Son of Man's never going down, no, no. You surround me with a song, and all the angels sing along. They sing, the Son of Man's never going down. The Son of Man's never going down. Never going down. The Son of Man's never going down. Yeah. For when the Lord speaks, demons flee. And when the Lord sings, people's fear cease.
Well, welcome back, and I'm here in the studio with Wesley and Halee, two of our just awesome students at the College of Leadership, School of Worship, all of that. And before the break, we were talking about really how this year has impacted you all. This is your first year of the school. Now, both of you are coming back for a second year, so there's
Yes.
still more that the Lord is going to do.
Yeah.
But just that idea that anything's possible.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, when you give the Lord a year of your life
Yeah.
and you just say, here you go. I mean, he will take advantage of
Yeah.
that in
Yes,
the
ma'am.
most wonderful ways. And so as you're looking back over your year, what would you say makes this particular program so unique?
The people.
100%. Yeah.
The people. You don't find teachers like this, people like this anywhere in the world. I am certain of it.
Yeah.
Their devotion to the Lord, they come in, and when they speak, you know, Rick, Justin, Tom, everybody, Nathan, you, Emily, like when y'all speak, it's your life. You're living it. And that makes a huge difference. The presence and the atmosphere of the school is completely different when people live what they're talking about. So for me, it's the people, it's Leonard Jones. I
Yes.
mean, people's life experiences, they've been through years of hardship and blessing, and they're sharing it with you. I mean, how unique is that? You don't get this certain collaboration of people anywhere else. So
It is
that's
truly
so
a
true.
unique group of faculty at MorningStar University. And
Yeah.
what I love is that a lot of the teachers are still in the field.
yeah,
You know, so what the material that they bring is fresh. It's not something that they learned 20 years ago, even
Yes,
though that
ma'am.
certainly has relevance, and they bring
Right.
that impartation
Right.
too. But they're always adding to it. I'm still out there. I'm still in the field. I'm still pastoring or missionary or whatever it is that this person is doing.
Yeah.
And they're bringing that
yeah.
freshness.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
there's such a level of humility on everyone here. They're just humble, like before the Lord, just like you're saying. Like I'm teaching you, but I'm in the fight
Right.
as well. I love that.
Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, just like what Halee was saying, you know, with the people, because, and, you know, it seems like with this anointing and this gift and this love we have, a lot of people just want to die and just go with it. But with MorningStar, willing to pass it on and then give it to us. It's like for
Yeah.
me, for example, I'm actually the intern for the youth pastor here because that's my heart is for youth. My parents were youth ministers for 25 years. And, you know, any idea I have, he just says, go out and do it. He don't really, most
So
of the time, don't even ask what it is. He said, just go and learn.
Yeah.
You know, if it's fall, awesome. It's about how you get back up.
Right.
So, you know, willing, you know, a lot of times, you know, just like what Rick says, if you don't mess up, you're not doing something right. So I think that's what's so beautiful about here because, you know, like I was saying, what don't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah.
So just willing to try and go out, get dirty. And, yeah, I mean, the people 100%, you know, one of the best.
And the students too. I
Yeah.
mean, I think God orchestrates it so beautifully. Like every year, from the stories that I've heard, like the different people who have shown up for each year and how
Yes.
it just works. And Jeremiah Johnson was just here and spoke on a movement of holiness, and our class really picked that up and ran
Yeah.
with it. And
Yes, ma'am.
we've been pursuing that word. And so there's just really something special going on. I think when you're speaking of it being unique, I mean, it's even what God's doing in the earth right now
Yes.
through
Yes.
MorningStar.
Well, it's on, just like the MorningStar is a prophetic community and teaching center, the school kind of follows that
Right.
vein. And so, you know, our hearts in the school is really to make sure that we are in touch with what the Lord is doing, that we don't have to
Exactly.
catch up,
Yeah. Exactly.
you know, after something breaks.
Yeah.
And so, you know, one of the emphasis of this school with all of the, because it really is an eclectic program in the sense where you have theology training, you have worship training, you have the community of both students and teachers, but then there's also a very strong leadership component that
Yeah.
really is the foundation for everything else that is on there, that is built on top of that, you know, because Rick's heart really is to raise up leaders.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
obviously, I think we've been seeing that in
Yeah.
you two and
Yes, ma'am.
and all the other students that have come through the school.
Yes.
But how would you say, from your perspective, that this emphasis on leadership is implemented in the program?
Oh, wow. Well, with Leonard Jones, I mean, you're thrown up on stage right away. I mean,
100,
if
yes.
you're interested in the worship school, he's going to put you in the practice room.
Yeah.
You get going. He asks you what songs you've written right away. So that's leadership right there. I mean, anyone knows in music, you have to have a leader. If you don't have a leader, everything's unorganized. It creates confusion. And so you learn a lot about leadership in the worship school right away.
Yes,
I mean, you've got to get in there, lead your team. And Leonard really talks a lot about friendly fire and what it's like to get on stage, and then somebody hits the wrong chord or hits the wrong note, and it's like friendly fire, you know, because we're all supposed to be moving together as one.
It's a harmony that's supposed to be there.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of just leadership skills that are developed in music,
Most definitely.
period.
Yeah.
You know, but I think with Leonard, it's right away. It gets implemented, and we love it. I mean, we love getting thrown in there. But
Most definitely. I mean, you know, definitely for me, you know, been playing my whole life. But, you know, coming here, like Leonard will throw you right on stage with amazing musicians.
Yeah.
I mean, Leonard is on another level good.
Yeah.
And then sitting there playing and definitely learn how to be a leader, because a lot of times I just wait on people to lead me. But when I'm on that drums, I'm a leader over the drums.
Yeah.
I mean, that like Halee was saying, friendly fire. If you mess up, I mean, it's definitely a drummer or anybody else. I mean, everybody can tell.
It affects the whole team.
Oh, the whole
it
band.
does.
Yes, ma'am. So, I mean, going in there, and that's putting in practice time. And I just can't get on that stage once a week and not practice none and think that I'm going to lead my band right and be the best drummer I can be. I mean, that's 4 hours a day of practice and just trying to be the best that I can be.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's what it's about, because there's thousands and millions of drummers out here. But God put that gift and that talent inside of me for a reason, because he wants to hear my sound. He loves me.
That's right.
So that's what, you know, it taught me so much this year, is just being my own leader in everything I do.
Yeah,
So,
it's amazing because it's like, it's excellence.
Yeah.
You know, you're not coming to this school just to learn how to be a leader. I mean,
100%.
everything that Rick deposits in you through his words, and Justin and Tom and all of the teachers that come in, it's a level of excellence to look at the people around you, to lead with humility, to lead with vulnerability like you teach us, you know, and just... There's such a beauty to everything that happens
100%.
in leadership. You start to see the beauty of it.
And the
like,
complexity of it,
Yeah.
too. That it's not, it's really can be a complex path to walk. There's a lot of elements to balance,
Yes,
definitely.
which obviously you all see firsthand when you are working as a team.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So would you say that you've, as a result of this experience, become a more confident leader, or how has it helped you personally?
Oh yeah,
100, yes.
I think most definitely, because it goes into your practice time. I mean, even Nathan teaching us about our speeches, you know, and saying, you know, your final speeches in year one, but you know, that it's about preparation. And so it's the same with music. It's the same with being a leader and spending time with the Lord, like Justin teaches us, and praying in the Spirit, and ways you prepare yourself to be able to go into a situation and lead rightly before the Lord, because we'll answer to the Lord. We'll need to be good shepherds.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's what this school really teaches you as well, is to look to God. You're accountable to the Lord. It's so crazy. There's so many leaders here that just go, hey, you're accountable to the Lord. Like,
This
you know?
this is your flock.
Yeah.
You've been entrusted with a part of God's family.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's freedom and liberty. It's just like you answer to the Lord, like lead, do it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know, most definitely. And then the confidence, you know, the more you do something, the more comfortable you get at doing it. I mean, that's why some people say, well, man, I'm scared to pray over people. I'm scared to do this. Well, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know, just pray to God. I mean, just go in and just talk to him and learn how to hear his voice.
Yeah.
You know, I know when I first actually traveled with Halee and Leonard not long ago, and man, I was nervous. I mean, I was getting on the drums, and I asked, Leonard's probably not the best person to go to when you're nervous, but I was like, man, I said, what, is it normal to get nervous? He said, only if you mess up and you can mess the whole band up. Then it is. I'm like, well, thank you, Leo, but I mean, it's awesome though. So I practiced before I went on that trip. I practiced all the time in the room, and I practiced them songs. I got comfortable with the sticks in my hands. I almost went to sleep with it. And then when I got behind the drums, I was comfortable when I was doing because I knew who I was.
Yeah, that's key.
100%. I said, Wesley, I said, you are a drummer. God put this in you for a reason, and you can do it. So, yeah, this 100% confidence. So, I'm out of school. So, yes, ma'am.
Well, it sounds like it's been an awesome year for you
It
guys,
has.
and that y'all have done amazing.
Oh,
And
thank you.
so,
Thank you. God
as
is
we
good.
only have a few moments left here, but what would you say to anybody who is considering the school and they're like, well, I don't know if this is the right fit for me, or I'm really not sure, what I want to do with this next year of my life? What would you say to those people?
I would say do it. If you're
Most definitely.
considering it, just do it. Take a chance. Have courage for your life, for your destiny. It's even for the people around you, because it's not just to come here and stay here. There are some that come and stay, but it's to come and be a sent one. Come learn, grow. I mean, there's no harm that you could, you do have trials getting here. It's a difficult step to get here. But it's God training you in the midst of all of it. You see his hand at work. And so I would say just do it.
Yeah, just go after it.
Take the plunge.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just run full force and just go right after it. So, yeah, exactly.
Well, that's amazing. Well, we're looking
Yes,
forward to
ma'am.
have you all back next
Yes,
year.
too.
And thank you all
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much
Thank
for
you.
coming on and sharing your
Oh, we
perspective.
love you, Emily.
And
Yes,
if
ma'am.
this touched your heart and you're willing to find out more about the school, please go to MorningStarUniversity.com. Find out more information. We're currently accepting applications for the 2018-2019 school year. And
Yes, ma'am.
the momentum's going to keep building from
Yes,
here.
it is.
So thank you all.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
And
you.
we will
God
see you
bless.
next time on Prophetic Perspectives.
Leadership, The Power of a Creative Life by Rick Joyner. Leadership and creativity are two of the most powerful forces on earth. Learn how to cultivate these forces using real-life examples. Army of the Dawn Part 1 and Part 2 by Rick Joyner. God has an army that will soon mobilize. Its gathering will be the most powerful force on the earth. The Path by Rick Joyner. Rediscover the love of the one inside you. You meet the seeker while discovering Christ's nature. These 4 products retail for $74.96. Get them in our leadership special for only $55 plus free shipping on domestic orders. Call 888-778-7141 or visit store.morningstarministries.org.
And to me, one of the ultimate characteristics of a truly humble person is they're teachable. They're open to those who are different from them and teach them.
MorningStar has a mantle of education. And one of the ways that mantle has been played out is through worship schools and through leadership. Our heavy emphasis right now is on leadership.
And just step out by faith, just raw obedience. Go and preach the gospel. I don't care what country he's called you to. There's no country too dangerous for the Spirit of God not to protect you in. I am living proof of that.
If people just really know who our Jesus is, man, they immediately will just give their lives to Jesus. Because that's why we're all here. That's why Jesus has placed here in this place of time, so that we may know Jesus.
We have some of the most incredible speakers that come through the school. We've had Bill Johnson, we have Bobby Connor, we've had Mike Bickle, Reinhard Bonnke, Wellington Boone, Paul Keith Davis, Todd Bentley. I personally have been a graduate of this school. This was a school that was transformative for my own life, and I believe it'll be the same for you.
In desperate need of leaders with character and resilience who have the ear of the Lord and have the heart of the Lord. And so that really is our vision with the school.
I'm living proof of that. There is no country. I'm on the streets all the time. There's no country too dangerous. If God has called you to that nation, you go. He will protect you where you're at. Don't listen to anything else.
But when you give yourself to the hungry, it's not just giving your bread, but yourself. Then your light will be like the midday, the fullness of the light.
Because I think we can all agree that the world and in the church, we are in desperate need of leadership.
Come encounter the Lord and be transformed and prepared for leadership.
My Jesus and your Jesus, our Jesus, is absolutely irresistible.
On TV, online, on the go, and on your iPad. Tune into Prophetic Perspectives with Rick Joyner, always available on MorningStarTV.com.